All right, go ahead, Ifani. You can take it away.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's great to see everybody again on the line. The last couple of months have been a great onboarding of people from this group, people from other groups, as well as us continue to do sales and continue to expand the business. So from an updates perspective today, I have a little bit of some teaching, a little bit of some um, sharing of how you can get started, and a little bit about how we've been selling so far. All right. And so, the content of today, we're not going to talk too much about the rental part, but I will let you all know we are going to work on in the near to long term a land acquisition course as well as a rental course for people to be able to take advantage of that. But right now, there's just so much information, wealth of information out there that you guys can kind of piece together. So the first thing what I'll do is I'll put together in this chat a YouTube. You can go look at this video when you have free time here, bookmark it. Making $36,000 on the year with on the side with one tiny house. This is from Bigger Pockets Money YouTube channel, so you can go look at that. That's kind of a personal finance channel. Um, and But what I'll show today is just a couple videos. We'll start off with just sort of an update, and then we'll go into some testimonials that we have from customers, and then we'll wrap up with I'll talk about or actually we'll talk about some deals and how what sort of income is being generated, and then we'll talk about at the end some testimonials, and we'll go through some of those. So this is cool because this is just a little update that has occurred uh, since we launched this. We got picked up by the local news for some of the work we're doing around community development right now, and this has led to some business really in the tiny home space, some big business for the tiny homes, some visibility for the type of stuff we're doing. And so I'm actually going to do a quick just drop here and here for how we did this and how we generated this, because what this has led to is a seven-figure contract that we have right now. Actually, it's an eight-figure contract because it has a lot of upside. But its first stage being a seven-figure contract, and how that came to be in the tiny home space. So this was really the first step of everything. It was really getting our word out and the press out. Our first client, we partnered up with some institutions. It's always a good idea to partner up with a nonprofit. In this case, we partnered up with a church in order to get the word out and to advise them in launching what is called a community land trust, to build and preserve affordable housing. And so for them, a tiny home is just a very logical choice, because it's not affordable because it's low quality. It's affordable because it's smaller and built in a factory in a more efficient manner. And so we have these standardized ADUs from different providers that we can provide to individuals, or we can provide to institutions like churches, to be able to provide housing that is a cost a little bit lower than the market, substantially lower, usually around $50,000 on average lower. But you can still get this rental. You can live in one unit and rent the other. For example, we have a two-bedroom, two-floor with an external staircase that works for that. For example, you can use it as a backyard wellness spa unit for a workout, or as a backyard office, or you can use it for backyard generational wealth. So it has a lot of applications. Or you can use it as a tiny home village, just similar to the trailer parks that you've seen in the world that are doing billions of dollars every year. Now, this is a more higher quality product that brings a very quality of life. So the news are obviously going to pick up on what we're doing here. So I'll start off with sharing the screen here. Okay, so you guys can see this, right? All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Is largely it's a new loan trust with the goal of revitalizing the Oregon community by increasing affordable homeownership
If you don't
opportunities.
mind turning it up, it's a little hard to hear.
Oh, okay. Here, let me turn that up, and then let's see if I can take it off of my speakers the way it's playing here, so I can play through the computer. That might help. And then I'll put some closed captioning on here for y'all. All right. Sorry for low energy right now. Long day here. Okay, let's start this from the jump. Let me know if it's better.
government is launching a community land trust with the goal of revitalizing the
That's
Orville
better.
community by increasing affordable homeownership opportunities. Father's House Restoration Ministries is partnering with asset manager Conscious Markets in that project. The trust aims to retain ownership and regulate rents to help low-income residents get long-term housing. It will offer lease-to-own options as well. The trust will also help provide access to financial, business, and wellness support programs. You can learn more under news links on the Action News Now website.
Right. And so, this is really important because from our perspective, right, this is a product that it means a lot to the middle and lower income, and those who are affluent as well usually will have the land space. So if they have the heart for the community or even for their own family members, then it's a great investment for all classes of income when you think about it from that perspective. So what happened with this too is, a group we'd helped raise about $20 million in 2023 came back to us. They said, hey, we just purchased a 300 home portfolio. I can put this news up for you guys actually. Where was it? Oh no, that's not it. There was some there it is. All right. So Homes for the Future announces the investment of 283 homes in Minnesota, St. Paul, with plans to launch in Atlanta. So this is Atlanta. So this, as you can see, is a public information. The 283 homes that they acquired, $61 million purchase. And so now what did they come to us? They came to us and they said, look, and now they're acquiring 75 more in Atlanta. This effort is supported by housing opportunity bond financing from Invest Atlanta, alongside private multiple investors and CDFI community development lenders, basically, including Atlanta Land Trust, one of Atlanta's largest community land trusts. So our salespeople right now are targeting these community land trust institutions because these are the groups that have a whole bunch of affordable single-family homes in their portfolio that you can improve the return with ADUs on the backyard. Now our people are now just starting to target more of the retail families and landowners. We just gave over 3,000 leads to our salespeople in the past week. So 3,000 leads to our salespeople in the past week. We actually did close off the sales. We pretty much closed off except for serious people. Anybody else who has someone that they want to refer, they would just go through a salesperson, and then they have a side letter with that salesperson to get a commission at this point. But for people who might be serious and have multiple leads and want to do it on a monthly, ongoing basis, we're open to explore giving you a sales contract. And with that, it's 50% commission on the money that on the deals that you bring in, and 40% on the deals we send to you. So it's a really sweet deal. And this is a commission on a home. So this is over $100,000 purchase. So we're doing that on the margin. So the commission is on the margin of that home that we get at wholesale. And so that margin can be anywhere from as low as you want it to as high as maybe $50,000. It just depends on the market and different factors of that nature. So all in all, though, we were able to pass so many savings to customers, even with a $30,000, $40,000 markup. It's still saving customers $50,000 then compared to the same size ADU stick built in their backyard, same size. For the home, compared from a home in places like California, you're talking about $100,000 saving and up minimum, as far as comparing 2-bedroom to 2-bedroom. So, this is really a nationally viable solution. It's viable for everybody, from companies to individuals, rich, poor, middle class. And from this reason, I say that's a product that sells itself. We just have to have more of the retail. It's hard for people to identify people in their network that are interested in have a landowner, or and first of all, you have to remember who are landowners. And then secondly, you have to remember who might be interested. And that can be a difficult activity to do systematically. And I'm all about systematic strategies. And so what we're deploying systematically is data-driven strategies where you know, that's why it's taking longer to get the retail part, even though we have up to probably 6 units in queue right now going through the financing on the individual buyer side. But what that is it's basically marketing, collecting property owner data from using technology and buying lists, as well as building relationships, going to conferences, going to networking events, um, and just building new relationships. So if you're interested in that level of activity, you can come and see if you can register as a salesperson. If you're interested in getting one of these for yourself, there's a significant savings from and because you're in this group and you'll be buying it from one of these sellers who are getting the wholesale, you will probably get some sort of savings where they're not going to charge more than 10,000 on top or something, or 15,000, which really is absorbed up by the mortgage. But you know, the point being, there's no cheaper place to get it, as well as to get the whole package of the financing, the fact that we have civil engineers with 20 years of experience in this who go through and check the quality of this, and also the ability to get it in a manufactured factory, meaning that it can start being built before you get the permitting. So you can start getting income a lot faster. Whereas we might have to wait 3 to 6 months for permitting, you can get this built in the factory while you're getting the permitting, so that when the permit hits, you can install it that same week and literally be renting it out that same month. And so that can save you a lot of time on versus if you have to wait till permitting and then start doing a stick build on that site and had to build it up and it take multiple months to build it on that site. You just lost multiple months of income. So in California, that spread of income can be over like $1,000, $1,500 a month or more. You know, this brother just gave you an example of one tiny home in the YouTube channel that I just posted in the chat that he does 36,000 a year, and that's in revenues, right? So he might have a mortgage, or maybe he has that free and clear of cost. So that's very similar in California. 2 bedroom unit, you can probably get it for as high as 3,000 a month, 2 to 3,000 a month, and for how much you're charging for rent, and your mortgage can probably be under 1,000 a month. So you can do the math right there. It's a great investment. It's more stable than anything you can do it's cheaper than buying a full home to get a similar kind of investment. And it's really good, especially if you don't want to rent, if you don't want to live there. Because right now we can get the financing without collateralizing. And for some loans, we can get it without collateral, in some jurisdiction, without collateralizing your existing property, without your existing home at all, because it's a manufactured home. Others, they'll let you do a second mortgage, but for the second mortgage, they'll let you do it on the after renovation value, which means basically the value of the property with the ADU on it. That's how they give the second mortgage on. So you won't have to refinance your existing property if you go through us, because we also have the financing relationships. And then also we have the technology to assess any zip code, any address, and to assess the zoning regulations, if it's feasible, if it's not feasible for that property. And we do that free of charge for any customer. So it supercharged the sale process to really build trust in the sales process. So that's where we are right now, y'all. We got some rock stars. You know, the people out in Minnesota right now are about to make a lot of money because there's over like $1.5 million of commission on the line. We've already got the investor group, so all they have to go is go help us. We're giving them the opportunity to go to each of the investors in this group and talk to them and get them to put up more money. Before we go out to market to go and bring in even more money, they have to put up, you know, typically we're convinced them to put up at least 30% of the amount that they want to do the additional ADU investment, right? And they want to do that as well because we want to convince them they want to do that as well because they want to increase more of their return. So if they want to get more of their return beyond just the typical single family home, which doesn't have a very good return when you're doing low income, and you can add an ADU at market rate or near market rate, right? Now you're increasing you have a better investment return profile. So you can convince them to put in more, and for that they're going to get a share of the commission. They're not going to get the full 40%, but they're going to get the asset management commission we give. So that's a multi-year commission that comes from these type of deals. So that's paid up front, and then it reoccurs because we have reoccurring asset management contracts with those type of deals. So There's with us right now, I would say, I just wanted to give a lot of game for people who are in sales and things because I've come on here a couple times and we haven't had many buyers. We've had a few buyers raise their hand with interest and come through pre-approval, which is great. But the key thing too is whether you're a buyer or a salesperson, this industry, feel it out and then come back to us. Let us know if you have somebody looking for it. If you're looking for a way to make some money quick this year, you have a transaction in mind, someone in mind, you should work that relationship just like a realtor does, right? They work relationships for weeks and weeks and months. And even though this is like a miniature version of that, it's the same thing. And so if you're that type of person, this is a good fit for you without having to have a real estate license. So yeah, that's kind of the skinny on it. There's a lot more, but those are reserved for our salespeople. We give a lot of training and game. I walk them through even the contracts and how we close it and things of that nature. But that's for those who are very serious, and others, you go through Julius, and he's gonna have you. He's gonna get paid either way, but he'll hook you up with that one where it's more of him kind of doing the closing and things with the customer because he's really good at that. And it's easy for him, and so you can send it to his way as well, and we can make something happen. So, God bless. Any questions or thoughts so far? I've been rambling and ranting.
Peace. Abundance King. I just hopped in, so I didn't catch the first part of anything. I just caught the last part of everything. So if you could give me a condensed version, I'm with the what you was talking about is my language anyway from the last part. So that's where I'm at though. But
Okay, what part did you come in on? Yeah.
basically, when you was talking about the sales, you know what I mean? We was
Yeah.
talking.
So I was saying earlier that we have a sales team like right now of about a dozen people. Some of them came from this group, others from other groups. We sort of closed it off, but we're able to reopen it for those who are really serious and want to do it on a monthly basis. Otherwise, you can get a side letter with Julius and send if you have just like one-off referral for someone you think might want to buy, send that to Julius. Julius will price the deal, and then you guys will split that margin together.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I came in where I didn't even see what we're talking about buying.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do here is I'll drop also the link too, but I'll go back on share screen so you can kind of see at least the pictures because we didn't really go through and you know what, we can actually go through some of the videos real quick as people ask other questions as well. So what sort of other questions are coming up while I pull that up? All right, cool. So I'm going to show now our video real quick and then we'll go through some testimonials. So we'll start with this walkthrough video here. This is our 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. And you can get this in different colors. I don't know why they did this in the orange for the video. Their white actually looks a lot more like a normal house. It just looks like a normal house with white, but it's actually aluminum siding with steel frames. So this unit survived the hurricanes in Florida last year, or was it 2023?
Tiny homes. You talking about industrial grade tiny homes? Yeah, man. Like this, bro. Yeah, I'm way in on this, so I know where we at exactly now. Yeah, off top.
Awesome.
So
Yep.
what's yeah? So what we doing with it? We basically selling the whole tiny home type of thing, or
Yep. And we have the financing, as low as 3% down. And I'll put a link here for you guys to actually see the details on all of that. As low as 3% down if you're a low income buyer, if it's depending on a primary residence, as high as 15% for if it's an investment property that somebody has. As you can see, look how nice, the insides of the bathroom, even though it's small, you can see that they are masters in engineering to get the design to be spacious, wide wall, high window, and all that stuff. So now let's go ahead and check out the other unit. So this is our rectangular 2-floor unit. And this
That's a
unit is
2 room.
this one is 2 bedroom, 2-floor. Yep. And you see it has an external staircase.
yep.
The external staircase is really good if you want to rent the upper unit separately because the upper unit comes with its own bed and bathroom, and a little kitchenette as well. But in this video, it'll show you the yeah, I think it has a microwave in this particular unit. But okay, this one's freezing up, but you'll see this one on the website. It always does this when I'm on Zoom for some reason. Mhm.
Website.
Yeah, this one is important to see because this is like the one of the hottest ones because it's 2 bedroom, 2 bath. So because of the extra bathroom and a little extra space, it's actually popular. And then also the look and feel of it. It just has, I'll show you the pictures as that video loads up. So the look and feel of it, it just has a little bit of the wood siding as well. It's still steel frame also, but it has some of the wood siding as well. That gives it that nicer rustic and whatnot look for different areas and backgrounds. Now you can look at the insides of it. Here are the pictures of the inside of that particular unit. Here it is. So, here's just if you just wanted the one floor, look how comfortable that looks. And it's way bigger than a trailer. Goes permanently in the ground. So here's what it looks like if it's the inside, right? The wide ceiling windows, full amenities, air conditioning. You can get smart home upgrades where everything can be controlled with your phone.
Yep.
So they have that as well. They even have the solar panel upgrades, and the upgrades are not very much. This is the one you can turn into an office in your backyard, and we
Right.
even have a wellness spa version of that that comes built in with with the cold plunge and the sauna.
Man, yeah, that's where it's at.
Hi,
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interject. This is so amazing. Can this be shipped out of the country internationally?
Yes, it can. The only thing that's tricky with that is the financing because we have to get financing in that country. So we'd have to look at if we can get the financing or if the buyer has the cash. But that's one thing we do really well because we're a financial advisory firm. We also help people to get the financing and get their stuff together. And that's why we like to partner with groups like Julius that do credit repair, because that's what we're all about. We're all about bringing up, uplifting, and giving people financial empowerment. So as long as they can finance it out there, we can ship it anywhere. Not every unit, but for the two I just showed you, yes, I believe they can go most of the world. The square one definitely for sure. Even that one even goes to Africa.
How about Egypt?
Amazing.
You said Egypt?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Egypt,
Ghana?
Northern Africa. So let's see, what other pictures can I show you all of the insides? So
I'm just asking about specific, excuse me, I'm just asking about specific places that I got plans for and right now. So Ghana, does that work?
Ghana, yes, they've shipped there before.
Okay.
Yep. So pretty much anywhere in Africa as well. So I haven't heard of anywhere that they can't, except for that the places where there's like U.S. sanctions, basically. Right.
Okay.
Hey, this is DJ. I just wanted to speak on a little bit of what you said, Ifani, but
Yeah.
I don't think you're expressing that how limitless this is. Like, I mean, just one community land trust or just one land bank authority can change like the whole demographic of something when you're doing this business right here. Like, it goes from like a 200 unit to a 300 unit, and then somebody's going to tell somebody else, and then it's word of mouth, and now you got a domino effect of units. So just the sheer opportunity to be a part of this company is crazy in itself. So I don't think he expressed that enough, that the opportunity to make money here is ridiculous. And it's going to be tenfold when you really put your feet on the ground and get into it.
Yeah, DJC, I didn't overemphasize it because our sales team is currently closed off, so people have to really show that they really want it. Otherwise, they can send their referrals to people like you and Julius who got in. They're one-off referrals, and they can still get paid. Obviously, they'll split it with you, but they'll still make a lot of money on that method as well. But to really get the full commission, the majority of your commission for your effort, yeah, definitely. Awesome. Appreciate that, DJ. So, we talked a little bit about, that deal as well and how that engagement we have with those 12 investors is with the overall investor group, and that each one of those investors also want to work with us separately because it's like a competition as well. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. Pretty much everything in life is like that. We wish that it wasn't so competitive when everybody's supposed to be collaborating. That's how I am spiritually. Not everybody's that way. And so, all of these people want to hire us away as well to help their specific land trust and land bank beyond just this deal. So it's taking you into a whole new each line of networking as well.
Oh,
Yeah. Awesome. But what other questions we have? I like, this page here because, on this page here, it talks about all of the strategies. So let me actually put this link here in the chat. And this talks about all of the strategies that we can employ. And we're going to do courses on some of these, like the land acquisition, but a lot of it we want to leave up to y'all because the creativity of how to do renting and things like that nature, it actually changes over time. So for us to say we're going to stay on the cutting edge of how to have the best tiny home rental business forever is actually not true. Y'all are the ones who will be telling us because those are the ones on the streets. And so what we will do is we'll put out initial courses on things, but we should know that this is a limitless, flexible opportunity from that perspective, based on your creativity. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the numbers, right? 580,000 homeless in the U.S., shortage of affordable rental homes, rising trends of young adults living at home as well as elderly, and aging parents and grandparents. So that's one thing. Second thing, environmental footprint, right? We got the solar ready, we got the energy efficient insulation and the water saving and eco-friendly materials, right? It also come with structural warranty to anything that was like a manufacturing defect. And then it just adheres to better, higher safety and environmental standards than like an RV. You know what I'm saying? And so when you have these in a park, and here are some pictures of actual tiny home villages, this one's not that great because of the yard, but we actually went and visited this in Detroit. So this is an unenhanced photo, right? Of just raw what it looks like, and you can see that you can tell it's still newly constructed, but you can see the different units, and then they also have solar and things of that nature. So it's just an example, and you can actually look at this and compare this to a trailer park, and it's like night and day. This looks like some village out of some European countryside or something. Some cottages. These can be made way nicer. You know what I'm saying? Our manufacturers do it nicer and more beautiful. So that's really the potential here. And with the similar cost as, a little more than a trailer, maybe twice as much or something as much than a trailer at the most, but similar cost to an expensive, nice trailer, but much more sturdy. And quality is the biggest thing because tiny homes haven't always had high quality in the past. But the technology now in the factories that are doing steel built is the highest quality standards. And so when we compare them to the stick built, they last longer. They're more durable. They're fireproof. And then they look just as good, if not better. You can't do that with a big building. You can't do steel. You can actually with like a big skyscraper. But with a home, the steel siding wouldn't work. So a large home. So this is really a unique product. It's very durable, and it might even outlast the big home in a flood or in a hurricane. You never know because of just how it's constructed so strongly. Yeah, so that's all I got for today, guys. We can wrap up early, or what do we have, guys and girls? Any other questions or thoughts? Any potential buyers on the call? I know I talk about adding margin, but y'all get the near wholesale.
what does it look like?
Well, the pricing, yeah. So we talked about that a little bit. So the pricing is typically starting around 100,000 retail. So for us wholesale, it's a little under 100. And that really gives y'all a lot of savings. In California, to do a stick build of the exact same size is like 180,000 minimum, right? Now with ours, with that, 100 to 120, depending on where you are, and adding, installation costs, you're gonna come in below 150. You know what I'm saying? So if you're below 150, you're saving minimum 30,000 uh in that market. In other markets, you come below 130, 120, and then it's really competitive. So, but I would be interested to hear more about what y'all see for 2 bedroom, one house, 2 bedroom, bath, and 2 bedroom, one bath in your area. If any of y'all have any quote on sort of the pricing, and how this would compare to that. Because I know it's real useful to get that information from all over the nation.
Well, that's where I'm at in California. That's going to be savings.
Right?
But and so the question comes is we're just talking about the unit though, right? So we got to furnish the land and then we get the unit on it. And so that all those numbers compile into each other, you know what I mean? But it's still a little bit of savings for so it's good. And it's
Yeah,
also
that's a
bottom.
very good point. Yep. Very good point. If you don't have the land, you have to purchase the land. That's the same with stick built, right? The 180 that I gave you was not including the land purchase. So if that's just in the scenario that they already had the land. So yep, absolutely. So we want to put together a course because with land acquisition, it's very interesting, right? There's different ways you can do it. You can acquire land with cash. You can joint venture with somebody that has land already and say let's go in together on this and drop agreement. You can
Right.
get the land with different type of loans where you put up a lot lower capital, especially if you're going for building what you define as affordable housing, which this will actually, you'll be surprised. These units actually fall into affordable housing naturally because affordable housing, they don't go based on size of the unit. They go based on the number of households in the unit. So a two bedroom, two bath to HUD that's under 80% of the market rate is considered affordable housing. So if you have a two bedroom and ours is typically at 80%, that would be like, let's just say if it was, let's say the average two bedroom home in California is a minimum 200,000, although it's a lot higher, but let's just say all the different regions together, let's just say minimum 200,000. It's probably more like 300 at this point or 400. And you take 80% of that, that'll tell you what is considered affordable in California. So in different, so you can actually, depending on how you price this, you can actually go after affordable housing loans. You can go after affordable housing grants as well to get the land, and you can even go after getting the land from some of these land groups. They'll give it to you for like $1 because they know you're going to build affordable housing. And so different like governmental land banks and things of that nature, if you win the bid, they'll give it to you for like $1 or like $1,000 for like a whole acre of land. So I definitely advise you all to look into that. But we're going to probably be doing something. It's not a rush for us because we got a lot on our plate. But we'll probably put a course together in like maybe the next 2 quarters or so. Not this upcoming quarter Q3. We're probably either Q4, or if not, we'll give you an update in Q4 when it's going to come. So I advise people to start putting together their own know-how if you want to get into the land acquisition business. It's not that hard. You can actually get a good plot of land in California for $20,000 in the right location and do this strategy. So, um, yeah, that's where you work with someone like Julius. Julius, even if there's not a course available, he's the master in getting funding, right? So he can get you that 20,000 or that 50,000 to get started with. Anything you'd like to add on that, Julius? DJ or anybody else?
The only thing I
America's on the call. I see you, America. She's one of our salespeople. She's still on. Oh, yep, yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, just looking forward to that course because it's going to help a lot of individuals understand how to acquire land. Especially we're going to have it here in the community as well for individuals who's interested in, building these properties, whether it's overseas, is here, and I'm really looking forward to finishing up that course. So a lot of individuals can be able to use that to their advantage to start thinking about how they can position whether I mean I spoke with what's his name? Myron the other day we was on a call and he was thinking about, right now he's in the process of buying land to have build a few properties, maybe like two or three, and start renting them out over by the airport over in what was the state, Myron? Is he on the call?
Yeah, Myron was on.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Detroit, yes.
Detroit. Yep, yep.
Yep. That's what it was. So definitely I'm looking forward to that course because like I said, it's gonna help a lot of individuals because that's the big issue is just acquiring the land. Because a lot of individuals want to move forward, but they just don't know how to go about acquiring the land. So I think that's gonna make everybody life easier once we have a course, breaking down the process and explaining the process. And, because like you said, it's different ways to acquire land,
Mm-hmm.
get grants, it's different ways to acquire land. It's a lot of land out here too in Georgia where I'm at and all over Detroit, everywhere. Um,
Mm-hmm.
especially nowadays, man, like with everything that's going on with the economy, people want to, I think a lot of individuals want to move away from the city.
Yep.
Because when that there's wars, rumors of wars going on, all type of things going on right now. So this is the best time to be able to move away from the city, purchase a land up on the outskirt away from everybody and
Exactly.
build.
Build a family.
That's right. Build your family. Even if you want to have you want to have a properties in the city, cool. But you
Right.
always want to have some type of retreat to be able to retreat to when things hit the fan. So I think
Yeah.
right now is the perfect time to start thinking about that, to start, making plans because we don't anything can happen at any time with the way the direction the world is headed in right now.
Yes.
Anything can happen at any time. Everybody's on the edge right now. So um I see you have your hand raised, America. You can come in.
Yeah. That's the
Yes, I
spirit
just want to
talking.
say
Really.
hi to Ifani. Nice to see you. And land is definitely a hot commodity right now in real estate. That I get more requests for land opportunities than anything, because it's affordable right now. And then, like
Mm-hmm.
you guys saying about the ADUs, I mean, it's a no-brainer as far as being affordable for people. And I think, Ifani, I talked with you and you said you can put like 10 tiny homes on 1 acre, right?
Yep. Up to 10 tiny homes on 1 acre.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean that can help so many people out, just with 1 acre. So I am definitely looking forward to the class that you guys are coming up with to learn more about acquiring land to do things like that.
Yeah, let's do that, right? So I've sent over the YouTube and yeah, so let's do that, because I do want to. The main issue that we had is I was very excited the other week, and then I went back to my team, and my marketing team didn't have the capacity, they said, because of some other stuff that we're doing at the company level. But I'm interested if anybody like America, Julius, if you guys wanted to start working on a course, then you could get the majority of the credit for the value of this of the course when we go to distribute it too, because that's effort putting in to create content, because you have the people, right? Julius, you got the people. You could actually work on the case study, and I could advise you, Julius, through the process as well, and you could record your work with the client. That's one idea. And you could, and in that case, I would honestly say in that case, she should pay you for that, but it can come out of the financing, right? Like it could be, whatever the course cost could be paid upfront out of the financing, because the course cost is not going to be that much as compared to if you're putting together the full package where they're getting the financing, where you can also help them to go in and guide them to actually get the land and then rent it out. You're not only helping them get in the financing, but turn that into a 6-figure, 7-figure business. You know what I'm saying? With just one unit, with just multiple units. So with that, whatever the core course is, 1,000 or 2,000 of that financing, 3,000, it should be worth it, especially with that package. So I think you're actually in the best position. But if you're willing to wait, then we could probably get to it. We can look at it Q4. But I don't want to risk that we get there and then it's not the timing again for them, because they're always having stuff. So because we actually brought on another marketing fellow. So now we have over 20 people at CMG, including our 12 salespeople. We have 8 people on our core team. And so, but she was immediately put into the project that the marketing director has. So what we need is some support, some help on that side of things, and we can provide the advisory to create the course if we want to do it quickly. And if there are people who want to get together and some people be the case study, some be the executors to execute the opportunity. We could put together a nice team, I think, out of our salespeople, Julius and America. So it's up to as well what we could think of on our side. But the marketing team, as far as our marketing team, right, and what we've discussed, we definitely have the funnel. It's just about putting the content together. So we have the content in our heads. We have the case studies of people that we should be able to help out. We can do it from the service approach and record that and create the content to start, or if we could you could have people put the content together. As far as the distribution, it'll be through groups like this, we have you, we have our brother Hugh is connected to multiple, our marketing director Tim, who he has like a network of over 200 marketers that he calls Giver Marketing Network, where they have different, networks as well. So we can distribute the course for sure through these type of groups, through social media. We already have the channels and we have the network, the platform, right? Conscious Markets is the platform that all this can very easily have a brand to be distributed and pushed out if we need. But the content is just we need time someone to roll up their sleeves and put the content together. That's it. I think it's a multi-million-dollar course right there because $1,000, $2,000 to make that much back in 1 month. Come on now, you know what I'm saying? Plus, obviously, the cost of getting the land and property, but that's pure equity. So if someone buys that, they're getting pure equity in their future when they buy that land and home. So really, just the cost of the course, right, and the interest rate or whatever they have to pay is only real cost to them. And so that's a really low cost when you think about that.
Most definitely, you correct, man. So, we definitely got to sit down and really chop it up because I think, that's what's stopping a lot of individuals is acquiring land. Once people
Mm-hmm.
know how to acquire land, I think they're gonna be more action taken. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that we got Myron just posted in the chat, he said I'm looking for land right now. We can kind of use him as a case study as well. Um,
Yeah.
and we just really got to come together and just put it together. Because right now, I feel like we're in a time where it needs to be done as soon as possible. So definitely we'll after this call here, we can find some time to just connect and figure out how we want to strategically go about, putting that together.
Yeah, that's the way I think. For us, with our skill set being, at least mine being the service side, and then my marketing team when they have capacity, they can execute. From a service perspective, we can begin helping Marin and use and start recording it as our case study as well. So it depends on how we can be willing to structure that to get that work done. So, but yeah, I think it can get done definitely based on what you're saying. And
Awesome.
then he can participate in, by providing his course as a case study, he can participate in the sale somehow, the sale of the course.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That's another way to do it. If we want to, cover the time of developing the content and then just give him participation on the upside. Whoever wants to go get this land, participate in getting the content together and kind of taking the risk to go out there and do the first. It's not a risk because you have people with over 100 years of combined experience giving you advice. But yeah, definitely. Awesome, man. Sounds good, man. I just saw your message. Looking forward to it. Okay, great. So yeah, that's what I had for today, y'all. Thank you for the words from the spirit, Julius. You know what you said about the people moving out of towns. We're seeing this in Northern California where we're doing the community land trust right now. A lot of people exodusing out of Sacramento. So we call this the cities of refuge. These are cities and structures and methods and models that can be employed in the rural as well as the urban. So when you have a strategy that can be employed in the rural, then you're building up capacity for there to be a smooth shift from the urban to the rural, or a strategy that can be employed in both the urban and the rural. You can create a bridge for the urban to the rural. And that's what the ADU is. It's something that works in the urban setting because of limited space. It's something that works in the rural setting because of a lot of space and the ability to do single family home portfolio with ADUs on the backyard if you want, a whole village of them, or do a whole village of ADUs, pure ADUs if you want to do pure affordable housing. So you can now have the ability to have different price units with that as well. Now, a lot of people have NIMBYism about mixed income neighborhoods. A lot of people don't like mixed income neighborhoods. But when you're in a period of refuge, where there's a period of crises, guess what? Everybody's going to be put together in the same place. There's no ghettos, nowhere for the rich to hide. And they have to be able to, and I said that right here at 5:55 at Pacific time. I like repeating numbers like that. They're going to have to figure out how to take care of the poor. And it's happening right now with the border issues. And so already God spoke to us to go into this and was guided us to go into it. And you said it right on the head, Julius. So there's a lot on our YouTube you'll see about that as well. We've done prophecy about that. This company is multifaceted. So y'all check out our YouTube, check out our website, see what we're all about. And I'm looking forward to working with more from this spirited group here. God bless.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome, guys. Well, super excited for everything we have in store for everybody. really looking forward to getting that the land course done so everybody can you know, have the information on how to acquire land, and we'll move forward from there. And
Yes.
that's awesome, awesome. Anybody have any questions before we wrap it up for the night? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining the call. Thanks again, Ifani, for hopping on. Hopefully we can get you on more. And you know, and just go from there. But I
All
see
right.
we're trying to come in literally at the end, but we're having it now. But yeah, guys, we'll see you guys on the call on next Monday for sure.
Awesome. Thanks everyone again.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye bye.
Peace.